Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna spend some time work on what they call Aurora on the street and the flexibility that is offered. So I'm going to talk about the Aurora on the street and see how to work on it. This is a show you the diagram from our topology, which has been done from the Cisco packet tracer, and this show exactly how it's gonna looks like in physical topology in our topology in our diagram. But this is a little bit something you may not understand when you see that on the first time. But this is shows simply that both rotor, like from rotor 1, rotor 2, rotor 3, and rotor 4, are connected by VLAN, and this shows the role of the rotor on the stick. Actually, they are not configured yet. And to simplify this diagram, I will show you another diagram. This shows the simplicity of this diagram. So exactly what it does rotor. So that means the rotor, if you look at in our on the left, the rotor 1 should be able to communicate with rotor 2, but has to have his own VLAN. So each VLAN need to be separate. And likewise, the router 1 to router 4 need to be able to communicate back and forth, but with a separate VLAN. Likewise, also from router 1 to router 3, it should be able to communicate by separating the VLAN. So with all that's gonna be done is gonna be possible by making that from a single switches. So we're going to assign different VLAN from each switches. For example, if I go here, in example in this line, I assign the VLAN, like example, let's say VLAN number 12 for this line. Let's put it here from the line between router 1 to router 2, VLAN 12. And secondly, for let's say for the middle, the line of the middle, let assign the VLAN 13 for this line on the VLAN in the middle. And then for the line between router 1 to router 4, which is here, let assign the VLAN 14. So I will take the VLAN 14, stamp it here, and then let's do, for example, for the between router 2 to router 3, like is here, let assign the VLAN number 23, which is going to be here. And then lastly, for the line from router 3 to router 4, let assign the VLAN number 34. So as you see, the prefix of our address will be working on the number. All the address in this topology will begin with number 10.0.1, following by the number of the VLAN, and then the last number will be the number of the host. It could be number 1, number 2, and all are on the subnet /24. As you notice, this is the CRDR notation of 255.255.0. So that's probably going to be for all the rest of the topology. So let's begin. So I'm going directly to step out on our topology here in the Cisco packet tracer. First of all, we need to configure the VLAN on each line of the interface. So do that. I'm going to begin by going to the switches on the line on the switch and assign the VLAN. I'm going to create the VLAN by going to the interface mode, enable, configuration, global mode, and then just type VLAN. Let's choose VLAN 12 first, and then let's create VLAN 13. following by VLAN 14, and another one VLAN 23, and finally VLAN 34. So I finished to create our VLAN. Let's test it to make sure if we successfully create the VLAN in our topology. I'm going just to go back step beyond on the exec mode and type show VLAN brief. As you can see, we successfully create those VLAN. So VLAN 12, 13, 14, 23, and 34. And we're not done yet. Now we need to assign each VLAN the interface that is supposed to be assigned to it. So if we look at in our topology, let's go back again to the previous diagram. You can see we have the interface J00 for the VLAN for both router 1 and router 2, G00 for VLAN 12. So to do that, we need to assign those lines first of all the VLAN, the appropriate VLAN. So to do that, I need to go to the switch, and then if we look at the switch correctly, and we notice that we have the fast Ethernet 01 and 02. So in our diagram, it's going to be the R1 and R2 is going to be in G00. With the fast Ethernet, it's supposed to be fast Ethernet 0/1 and 0/2. And then we're going to assign our active interface. But to be able to make sure that we're doing our job correctly, the easiest way to do that is going to be first to assign in the all the router 1 and router 2 what they call the sub interface. That's going to be the second step we need to do to make it easier. Otherwise, if we go directly to the switch, we have to figure out which fast Ethernet and which fast Ethernet. But as soon as we're done with assigning each router the interface and their appropriate VLAN, we'll be able to see that on the switch table. So let's go on the router 1. And from the router 1, I'm going to configure what they call the sub interface. So in configuration mode, terminal, and from here I tap interface J0/0, and following by that, and following by the number of the VLAN, which is going to be 12. And then I have to type this command, encapsulation .1q, and following by the number of the VLAN, and then the IP addresses, then .1, .12, following by the number of the VLAN, and in this case, let's put the address .1 because it's the router number 1, and press enter. And the subnet mask, we should not forget, .0. Then we're done, and let's go back one step beyond, and we need to make our internet up because now it's in down state. We need to go the interface J0/0 and then typing no shock to bring this interface up. So as you can see, the interface now is up. And now to make our topology better to well understand, we need to name our router at the same time by typing host name and make it shorter, router 1. Then we done our configuration for the first part of the interfaces. And now what I'm going to do, I need just to type do show history. do show history. And then what I need to do, I need just to copy this command, copy all that I put here, and then click on copy and go to the rotor 2 and just paste it. By changing the number. So we need to open the notepad. Let's go to the notepad and paste it. And then we need just, instead of to put the number 1, we need just to put number 2 here. And following by the number 2 as well here. And we change our program command. And then we need just to put the host name rotor 2. And we don't need this the history. So we can keep it. And then by selecting that, copy, and then go back to our rotor and just paste it. As you can see, we didn't get error, everything is fine. So it has been configured, it has been named as a rotor 2. Now I will do the same thing later with the rotor number 3 and rotor 4. So we do the same thing, but we need to change just the number of the interfaces because it's not the same interface. So this is between rotor 1 and rotor 2. So I finished to do what they call the VLAN 12. So let's put it here. VLAN 12 has been assigned and the IP address also. So now we need to work between this line, rotor 1 to rotor 3. So from here, the interface I will choose is the G00. If I go back to the diagram, as you can see, we have a G0/2 as interface between rotor 1 and rotor 3 in this median line. So I'm going directly to the rotor 1, and this time let's configure the interface J0/2 and following by the number of the VLAN, which is gonna be 13, and then encapsulation .1q, following by the number of the VLAN, and IP addresses, which is gonna be 10.1.13.1, following by the subnet mask, and then step beyond one step, and then type interface J0/2 and following by no short command, bring it up. And now we need to name we already name it, so it's already rotor 1, so that's okay. And now we done with the interface on the middle, so G0/1. So we already assigned the IP address from this part. Now I'm going to work on the interface between this one, G01, which is going to be linked with this rotor number 3 and rotor 1 and rotor 4. So let's go back and then on the rotor 1, configure the interface G0/1, remember? So 0/1. following by dot, and the number of VLAN is going to be 14, and then encapsulation dot 1q, encapsulation dot 1q, following by the number of the VLAN and IP addresses, 10.1.14.1, and the subnet mask. So likewise, it's going to be the same for the other side. If you look at our topology, the other side is going to be the same command from here. So it's going to be practically the same command, especially the address is going to be different. So we're going to do the same thing, typing, and do show history. Do show history command. And then I'm going to just select all this and copy. And then, as remember, we're working now this side. So we're going to assign the same thing from between router 2 and router 3. So I'm going here on the router 2. And then paste. The number is going to be, this is going to be number 23 because we changed the VLAN, 23 and that's 2. The encapsulation is going to be 23, and interface is going to be 0/1/23, and then the address is going to be also that 23, that 2, and the G0/1, no short. So we good. So I need just to select this, copy, and then go to the router 2, the terminal, and then paste it here. As you can see, we didn't get error, so everything looks just fine. So it has been successfully configured. So now let's go to this time we're going to the router number 3. So we're going to just change this address here, number 3, and the rest should be okay. So I'm going just to copy this command and then go to the router 3. And from here, from the configuration mode, global, and then pasted it. As you can see, we didn't get error, so everything looks fine. So, and let's name the router before to go further. Let's name the router number 3. Host name R3. Then we good. So now I finished to configure the router 3 for this side. So let's look at back our topology. So now we finish this side. Now we have to go this side here. So we're going to the G00 on this side, work from between this roller and this roller. So let's go back to our topology. I need to go to the roller remaining to the roller tree, and then this time I will type interface J0/2 and dot 13, then IP addresses. Oh, encapsulation, we shouldn't forget that. .1Q, and following by the number of the interface, which is going to be 13. Then IP addresses 10.1.13.3, and a subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and exit. And now I go back to the interface J0/2 and no short command, following by the no short command, and then we bring it up the interface. And now we finish with the line in the middle. So let's put it just right away. So this is VLAN 13. So we configure the VLAN 23 also has been configured. Now let's work on this VLAN number 34, which is here between those rollers. So I need to go to the interface J00 on both sides. So just let's go to the roller tree. Interface J0/0 dot following by the number of the VLAN 34, encapsulation .1Q 34, then IP addresses 10.1.34 and the number .3, and subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and go step beyond, and then from here the interface again J0/0 and following by the no short command to bring up the interface. So I will do the do show history command. Then I will just copy this until here, and then copy, and then go to the roller number 4 this time. Okay, so we get a little bit delay. We need to wait for a little while. This happens sometime when, so we can avoid this by adding one command. So in the meantime, I'm going just to label the switches and the VLAN. So let's type, just assign the VLAN here is going to be VLAN 34, which is this line that we just done configured now. So now I need just to finish the other side. So now we need to work on this side. The time the terminal is slowing down, so we need to configure this side now. the same thing. We need just to copy the command and paste it. So let's take a look on the roller again to see if now it's back. Okay, so we're good. So now let's type the configuration terminal mode and then paste all these commands. As you can see, we're good. So now we need to remember something. The other one was the address number 3. So you need to change the number. So I can go back here and then I type interface and then type no interface J00/33. So I need just to type no interface 00, no IP addresses. And then exit, no interface J0/0 dot 34. Yes, now it's bring it down. Now we need to configure that again. Interface J0/0 dot 24. And now encapsulation dot 1Q, following by the number of the VLAN, and then IP addresses, then dot 1 dot 34.4 and subnet mask 55. And now let's go to the interface and type the no shot command. So just to make sure, we're going to take a look on the the routing table, show IP routes. As you can see, we have the locally connected /24 and we have two directly connected. 24 and /32 is directly connected. So as you can see, our line is correctly configured. Now we're going to go between the line on number router 1 and router 4. So between this line need to be configured as well. So let's go just on this table to make sure you are on the same page. This is J01 and the other one J01. So remaining on the router 4, we're going to do the configuration for the other side. Configuration T interface, which is J0/1 dot 14, the number of VLAN, and then IP address, encapsulation dot 1Q, following by the number of the VLAN, IP addresses, then dot 1 dot 14 dot, let's choose dot 4, and following by the subnet mask. Okay, so we're done with the router number 4, and now let's go to the router number 1. As you can see in the topology, so we are here, we finish here, now we go in this direction. So the router 1 is going to be the same interface J01. So I need just to go back to the router 4 and then do the way I used to do. So do show history. From here, I'm going just to copy this command from here copy, we are on the router 1 or router 4 to make sure this was the router 4. Yes, so we need just to copy the other parts and then copy and go back to the router 1. Make sure if you already configured on the router 1, let's type show IP interface brief. So if we look around, we can see we already configure the part of /0114. So we don't need to do that anymore because we already configured the router 1 area. So as you can see that. Now, what we need to do, we're going to inside the switches, and then from here to identify which sub interfaces are connected to which fast Ethernet, we need just to type show CDP neighbor. Well, as you can see here, I have the table here. From the show CDP neighbor, we can see different interface connected. So if I look around correctly, I can see the fast internet, the router 1, which is connected with the fast internet 01, and the router 2 also, so which is connected to fast ethernet 02. So as you see here, so this is a really helpful table to help us to configure each VLAN on the switches. So to do that, I need just to copy. I'm going to select this part. From here, I'm going to select this line until the end, and then copy, and now go inside the Cisco packet tracer and paste it here. So much easier. So then we can see easily which interface are connected to which interface. So then we can work perfectly with our VLAN. And now we see here the fast Ethernet 0/1 is on gigabit 0/0 and the sub interface. So then we need to already know the fast Ethernet 01 and fast Ethernet 02 need to be on the same VLAN. So which is going to be, to simplify this table, let's just put it like this. So this is the way I will simplify this. And now I need just to make sure that this is the VLAN 12. This is already what we have already done. So now this is the following what we have done. So I will tap this VLAN. So this is helping us to know which VLAN belong to which VLAN. So I can see the number 12 is the fast Ethernet 01 to fast Ethernet 02. So I go to open directly our terminal on the switches. Let's put it beyond, then we can see what we are doing. And going to the configuration mode. And from here, I type interface range, and following by the number of the interface, fast Ethernet 0/1 to 2, from fast Ethernet 0/1 to 2. And then from here, I type switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN. The number of VLAN is going to be 12. Then we finish with the VLAN 12. And now I go exit and go to the interface range, fast Ethernet 0/9 to 10. And here I type switch port mode access. Switch port access VLAN 13. And now the third is going to be this line. So number 14. So remaining on the switching, we're going to make all those configurations from the switch. So type exit, interface. Now this time range, fast Ethernet 0/5 to 6. And switch port mode access. And switch port access VLAN 14. Then exit again. This time is going to be interface range. And the last one, okay, so we finished to assign each port from the VLAN. We need to check it to make sure if we did a good job. So let's step beyond and type show VLAN interface brief or show VLAN brief. As you can see, if you look at here, you can see in our line, VLAN 12 is active with the port fast01 and fast02, which matching with what we have here. And the VLAN 13, which is active from the fast Ethernet 0/9 and 0/10. And the number 14, VLAN 14, which matching with the fast Ethernet 05 to 6. Number 23, matching with the fast Ethernet 0/7 to 8. And lastly, the VLAN 34, which matching with the fast Ethernet 0/3 to 4. So that means the VLAN has been assigned correctly. And now, remaining on the switch, we have not done yet. Now we need to set up the trunking port, because now without trunking port, it won't communicate. It won't be able to communicate with the sub interface. I can show you example. We can try to ping from this router. It won't work normally because we need to set up the trunk port. So the trunk port need to be set up from the switch. So it's gonna be each VLAN has to have its trunk port. So like here, it should be have its trunk port. So I need to start by doing the switch the trunking port between this interface and this one from the router 1 and router 2. So let's do just that. On the switch, Tap configuration. Let's move a little bit. Okay. And then interface. We're working on the number 12, VLAN 12. So interface fast Ethernet 0/1. Interface range. Interface range, because we're going to assign directly on the same time both interface. We need to type interface range fast Ethernet 0/1 to 2. And then here we type this command, switch for mode trunk. And then we don't know yet. We need to start now. Switch for trunk. Allow VLAN. And the number of the VLAN is number 12. So if you look at its diagram, we're working on the VLAN number 12. So it's going to be allow VLAN 12, as you can see in diagram. So I need to type switch for trunk allow VLAN 12. So then we're done with the VLAN 12. Now we're going to do for the fast Ethernet 0/9 to fast Ethernet 0/10 for the VLAN 13 now this time by typing interface range. And the following is going to be fast Ethernet 0/5 to 6. '23 is going to be interface range. Lastly, it's going to be fast Ethernet 0/3 to 4. We finish with that. And now to test if our port switch are trunking, because now this is trunking. Now it's supposed to trunk. It need to communicate. So now we set up this router on a stick with the single switch, and we set up the trunking port between all of the connection between router and the switches. So to check if our trunking is working, we need just to go back on the switch and type show interface trunk. As you can see here, so the trunking is on. So it shows that we are trunking, so it's okay. And if we look at on the port on the VLAN, what that we assign is correctly matching with our expectation. So now we should be able to ping between this router, from this router to this router. So like we need to ping here from router 1 to router 3. We should be able to ping it. And we should be able to ping also router 1 to router 2, the address of router 2. We should be able also to ping from router 1 to router 4 those addresses. So let's just try it. So I need to ping in the address or the on the router number 3 is, let's put it here for to clarify. Then dot 10 dot 12 dot 2. This is the address of the router 2. And from the router 3, the address is 10.10.23.3, which is here. And from the address also between router 2 to router 3 and between router 1 to router 3, the address also is 10.1.13.3. And from router 4 is going to be 10 10.1.14.4. And between this router 2 and router 4, router 2 and router 4 is going to be 10.1.34.4. So now I try to ping those addresses. So from here, let's begin from router 1, take this and ping here. Okay, let's go to the router number 1. Ping, then that 1, that 13, that 3. As you can see, we succeed. So now let's ping 10, that 1, that 12, that 2. As you can see also, we succeed. And let's ping this time 10.1, that 14, that 4. There is no connection between 14 and 4. So 10.1, that 14 and 4, it didn't respond. Why it didn't respond? We can double check again. From here, the address is assigned. We can go back here and type show IP interface brief to see if our interface R is up position or down. So if we look around, we can see here the interface G0/114 is in down position. So it's supposed to be up. So we need to bring it up. That's the reason why it didn't work. So we need just to go back to the interface mode, config terminal, interface J0/1 and typing the no shot command to bring it up. That's it. Now, if we go back to our router on the router 1, we try to ping again, it should work. Okay, we didn't get the response so far. Now we type again, and you can see we get the response now. So now it work. We can try to bring also from the router 4, the router 1, the same addresses by going to the router 4, pinging the router 1, and as you can see, we succeed. So that shows that our router on stick are working perfectly and the VLAN are separate correctly. And another thing, one more thing you should not forget when you done your job, always type the command to save your configuration by typing copy, run, and star, and configuring and confirming. So that's going to save all your work on the router. So keep in mind, you should not forget that. Otherwise, you have trouble. Everything you have to start over because all will be erased when you turn off your router. That's it for this demonstration.